game show host, father of 5, and all-around big dude. I'm also an expert on drama. I know all kinds of drama. There's the good kind that comes with having a house full of kids. There's the bad kind, like season-ending injuries. There's the necessary kind, like having an agent in Hollywood. And there's silly drama, like the drama around my percolating pectorals. And then there's the drama you can skip.
Skip the drama that comes with not having your high school diploma or equivalency. Find free adult education classes near you and finish your high school diploma. Visit finishyourdiploma.org.
Or text diploma to 97779. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop to opt out. That's diploma to 97779. And leave the drama to actors like me.
Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Little roller up along first. Behind the back. It's no Buckner. Here comes Knight in the next win.
See you in Pittsburgh.
Can't wait. All the man is out on the field. He's going to go into the end zone. Montana looking, throwing in the end zone.
You're tuned into Game On with Josh Silverberg and Eric Bowe. Talking all things sports. It's
Game on! Yeah, game on!
Game On, right here on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
And we're here. It's game on, Speedy. It's game on. We're live. Happy Thursday to everybody here on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. Joining you every single Thursday from 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Check us out on worldwidesportsradio.com, YouTube, Instagram, Spotify. Are we on Spotify? We're on Spotify. TikTok. We're on worldwidesportsradio.com. Apple Podcast. Job on the Mouth has a lot of their stuff as well with their own pages. This is Game On. Hope everybody's having a great day, great week. It's already almost Friday tomorrow. Of course, my co-host, Eric Bowe, on the board, Speedy Petey. I'm Josh Silverberg. Eric, how you doing, man?
Hey, you know what? It's another week. We have almost a full week of baseball, right? Oh, how great is that?
We love baseball, hot dogs, and a Chevrolet. Chevrolet. You remember that commercial? Probably not. You remember that commercial?
Apple pie.
Good. Okay.
Wait a minute. Is that back-to-back shows with singing? First Speedy last week, you this week? Wow. I hope no one's expecting me to sing next week.
Also singing the Rolling Stones before the show.
I was singing the Rolling Stones before the show. I was. I said, start me up. Let's go. Show was ready to go.
We were.
We have a lot to get to tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to give our final four predictions on this weekend. All four number one seeds went great. A lot of exciting time in this tournament this year. Kevin Durant, where is he going to go this summer? Shams reporting today. A lot of teams are interested, and the New York Knicks have mutual interest in him. We'll discuss that a little bit later in the show, and we'll get to some NFL hot topics that are going on. Trey McBride from the Arizona Cardinals getting a nice big contract, the biggest in tight end history. We'll talk about that and so much more. But we begin, of course, with the leadoff spot. No pun intended. That is what our segment is called. Da-da-da-da-da-da. It is time for a Major League Baseball conversation. A week has gone by. It has happened. The Dodgers are relentless. The Braves are useless, and everything is happening in Major League Baseball right now. A lot of things are happening.
Early overreaction, right?
Oh, yeah, we call that Monday morning quarterback. That's what we like to discuss it as. Rafael Devers, really struggling this year. Boston Red Sox issue with that. The Yankees and their torpedo bats are the big conversation. I'm sick of talking about it already. We haven't even done it on the show yet. It's really frustrating. Nobody cares, but we'll discuss it anyway because it is a topic.
And how about all these extensions? Are these smart extensions?
Oh, yeah. They came out of left field, right? The Arizona Diamondbacks with Marte. That was a good deal they got Marte at.
right? You have
What was
more
it, 160, and then
The Red Sox
the Red Sox getting Crochet, Jackson Merrill with the Padres.
and you forgot their rookie, right?
Oh, that's true.
Christian Campbell there.
Campbell in there, yep. Well, they went the Milwaukee Brewers route with Churio, and they said, you know what, we're going to pay him now.
Yep.
I really hope Ronald Acuna rediscusses his contract because it's an atrocity that he's getting paid what he's getting paid.
Jackson.
But I'm sure we're going to have a lot of overreactions to a lot of situations that are.
You know what, Josh? That's a great start there. And you know what? Now you have me thinking.
Mhm.
Right now, this time, who is your biggest fault of a team right now that you're like, you're supposed to be better than this? What is going on?
I mean, you obviously have to point to the Atlanta Braves. I know who they've played is who they've played, but you have to. I mean, it's really now they lose. Who's the guy in the bullpen? They just lost Lopez right out of the bullpen. Their all-star. He's going to be out possibly
He's a
for the
starter
year.
for them.
Yeah,
Ronaldo Lopez is their starter.
Be out for the year. So don't have any word on Strider. Acuna, he's supposed to be back in May, June. We think, but they're already 0-7, 0-8 already, and you're thinking to yourself, oh, okay. Now, the Braves bullpen has been awful, which is very unbrave like. They're not hitting well. They're just and then of course Jerickson Profar gets hit with an 80-game suspension. I could tell you when that happened. It was literally probably 2 years ago when he went from hitting 210 to 340 the next year. Oh wow, how did that guy get so good?
But is it coincidental though that the Padres didn't want to re-sign him? Like, is that coincidental?
I mean, is it coincidental that nobody wanted to sign him in the first place?
That's fair.
You got a 3-year, $42 million deal for a guy who came off an All-Star season.
All right, so you know what, Josh?
One of the Padres.
Let me ask you the opposite. Who's your team that's overperforming right now that you think that's not going to last?
I don't know.
I have one that comes.
I would probably say the Giants. I would say
Mm-hmm.
the Giants. What are they? 6-1 now. I would say probably the Giants. I don't know if that's going to last at 6-1 with the Padres and the Dodgers in that division. I think because to me the Giants don't have a superstar in that lineup, so I'm just trying to figure out where the winning is coming from and everything like that. But Buster Posey's having these guys believe. He's a 3-time World Series champion. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. He's one of the greatest catchers to ever play the game of baseball. I guess he, becoming president of the team, he's having these guys believe in what it is that they're doing. So to me, I would say the San Francisco Giants for me are the one. I just don't think it's going to last. I mean, Wilmer Flores is having a ridiculously good season so far. Good for him. Very happy for him. I have no ill will towards Wilmer. He did a lot for this Mets team in 2015. I was actually at the game where he hit the walk-off home run against Washington.
Are you surprised he's getting full
and I was at the game with Lyle. That made it even so much better. I was at that game with Lyle. It was great. I remember that.
Are you more surprised that he's getting full run and not platooning at the moment?
No,
because that seems like kind of big news, right? Like since when is Flores not platoon? He's hitting against everybody right now,
which is great, which is a fantastic thing, and I think that's what it should be. Really quick to get off it, and what made that Flores moment great was the Nationals were in first place in that game, so even if they had lost, and Lyle went up to me after the game and said, the division's over, right? I said, what do you mean? He goes, the Mets are going to win the division now. It's over. So, yeah, the rest was history. I was at the game Friday and at that game Sunday when they hit the 3 home runs in the 1 inning. It was bonkers at ESPN Sunday Night Baseball. But anyway, going back to what you said, Wilmer Flores to me, I think is somebody that you got to play the hot hand. You have to play the hot hand, and I think that's what they have to continue to do. If you are the San Francisco Giants, I like where their starting pitching is. I don't know if Duvall is ever going to get back to what he was 2 years ago because he was in a mitigated disaster last year for San Francisco. But we'll see. Like I said, I don't think it's going to last. You know how these teams are. Some of them go for a couple of weeks, for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And it's like, then they have a 10-game losing streak. Why? Because they're not that good. They don't have the talent. But to me, I think the Giants are one. Who is your overachiever and your
Overachievers.
underachievers?
I have a tie, and both of these teams are 4-2.
Got a tie, Speedy.
But because you know what, they're both 4-2, and you tell me if these teams at the end of the year are going to have double the amount of wins than they do losses, like they do currently, and that is your Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim and the St. Louis Cardinals. Both teams 4-2 right now, winning records, playing some pretty good ball, getting some good pitching.
It's not. At least the Giants were 6-1.
Listen, 4-2.
Fuck the Astros.
That's you're saying every 3 games they're winning series at least 2 out of 3. That's not a trend that's going to continue. That to me is a wow. All right, that's a little overachieving right now.
Well, what's his name? Who's the catcher for the Cardinals? I can't remember the guy's name.
Ivan Herrera.
No, it's not Contreras. He's playing first base now.
Ivan Herrera.
Herrera's been fantastic. He's in like 415.
3 home run game.
By the way, your theory of Kyle Tucker struggling the first part of the season, boy, oh boy, was that way off. The guy's already an MVP finalist.
Listen, outdoors in Wrigley, colder temperature. I don't think the ball's flying. I could be wrong. It could be these torpedo bats, or it could be maybe the juice is.
Does he have a torpedo bat? Not that it really makes a difference. And you said who was the other one? You had the Angels.
The Angels.
I mean, like,
the Angels going basically 4-2 right now. I would
imagine the Angels now.
Trout's still there.
Ron Washington. You know, I like Ron Washington. Good manager, man. There's no way that's going to last.
Those are the two that are kind of shocking me that they're doing as well as they are. You don't know what team I think is shocking that they're not doing as well?
Who?
We're gonna stick to the NL Central there, and I'm gonna say the Milwaukee Brewers.
Oh
right?
My God!
I mean, listen, you want to blame it on the torpedo bats, you want to blame it on whatever else. When Jake Bauers was your best pitcher that entire series against the Yankees.
Once you're giving up 11 runs to the Royals,
and then the same thing. Jake Bauer is going to be their Rolaids relief man of the year.
I mean, listen, we're not discounting what the Yankees did. What the Yankees did was extremely impressive against the Brewers. It was beyond impressive. It was remarkable.
But is that not
once you have 11 runs to the Royals the next game, you have to start to say to yourself, listen, all right, what's the story here? Is it because you lost Devin Williams? I mean, they have essentially the same lineup as last year. The lineup hasn't changed. Their rotation is almost the same, pretty much. The only thing they don't have is Williams, and they haven't been able to even get to the closer. I'm like, did the Met series put something in their psyche that it's stuck in these guys' heads now that series crashed and burned us last year?
No, because think about it, Josh. This is the Milwaukee Brewers. This is what they do. Right? They start off terrible. They play a little bit better, get some wins here, and then you look at by the end of the season, you're like, wow, they're 2 games out, or they're a game out, or wow, they're 2 games up. This happens year in and year out. You know, they're not expected to be as good as they are, and all of a sudden they surprise everybody, and they're top of the division.
That's fair to say. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think the Cubs are really good. I really want to trust the Reds, but I don't.
It's tough.
I just don't think they have the talent. They don't have the talent to get there. I know Francona is what he is, but they're also in a hitter's ballpark. It's so difficult for pitchers. I guess the other big story that obviously we'll get to the torpedo bats in a second is the whole Rafael Devers thing. And my theory is Devers throwing games kind of like how Gary Sheffield, when he was on the Brewers, wanted to be traded on purpose and would just from third base throw over the head of first baseman on purpose to get out of Milwaukee. But you also look at Devers. He didn't play barely in spring training. He's way overweight right now. You could clearly see it. And he's beyond slow with his swing. You wonder, there's
a reason why I think that is, though.
And him getting out of third base and making him the DH affect him in a certain way because some guys can do it. Ortiz could do it. Ohtani could do it. Edgar Martinez could do it. People think it's just so simple. You hit, Giancarlo Stanton could do it when he's healthy. Some guys could, just take a bat, hit a home run when it's their time. Other players, they feel like they need to play every inning, get themselves acclimated to the game. And it's something Devers has not done before. And I wondered, does he also feel betrayed by the Red Sox? Because let's call it like it is. He was one of the best third basemen in baseball. And they're now saying to him, okay, well, new ownership is not new front office is here, and the guys that signed you that extension are not here anymore. You're gonna follow our lead. So we sign Alex Bregman, you're moving to DH. That's what you're doing. No ifs or buts about it. And I wonder if Devers took that to heart.
You know what? I have two things. One, that could absolutely affect the psyche and affect your hitting and everything that way, 100%. As a DH, do you have a lot more time now to think about each and every at-bat compared to being in the field, making sure you're going through the plays, where to shift, where to be, right? So you have a lot more time to think about it, right? They say baseball is a lot mental too. My one concern that I'm like, what did Devers hurt last year?
What did he hurt? Was it his wrist?
His shoulder.
Shoulder.
Right? So now you factor in kind of coming back from a hurt shoulder, right? Didn't really play so much in spring training. Honestly, I think he's just still getting his feet back underneath him, working up. I think he's just behind in that sense. I don't think it's, more of a, hey, he's throwing games or, hey, he wants to get out of there. Could that be part of it? Absolutely. I just think it's more of he's coming back from an injury, right? He doesn't have his feet underneath him fully yet. I mean, I'd be very surprised if by the end of the year we're still talking about Devers hitting less than 30 home runs, driving in less than 90 runs. I'd be concerned if that happens. But and don't get me wrong, the amount of strikeouts he has to end last year and to begin this season.
He was 0 for 18 to start the year with 15 strikeouts to start the season. It was
absolutely crazy.
Unheard of because he's not even really a strikeout guy. So
that's the part that doesn't make sense. It's almost as if his bat is just that much slower for some reason that this year. And you know what? Who knows? Maybe it's from the shoulder, maybe not. It's really hard to say, but I think it could be a factor.
I mean, when I look at what the Red Sox did and the Red Sox had a great offseason, traded for Crochet. I love the extension for him.
Bueller.
Getting Bueller.
Letting the young guys.
I still like bringing Bregman over. I do. I think that adds to it only lengthens the lineup. Because you guys, I think you guys know this. There's, I believe there's 3 pitchers in baseball that I would sign to a long-term extension, and that's it. Obviously, one is Paul Skeens, duh. The other is Crochet, and the third, Eric, you know this. You always call me crazy for it, and that's fine. It's if you put him in the right ballpark, it's Hunter Green. I think those are the only 3 guys that I could sit here. I was expecting Speedy to have a reaction when I said Hunter Green, but the truth of the matter is Hunter Green is a massive strikeout guy, and you put him in the right
play, though? Great American small park.
So if you put him in that ballpark, if you put him in the right ballpark, he's going to be a lot better. His whip will be a lot better. His ERA will be lower. You almost have to trend on the strikeouts to get through that ballpark at times. Those are the only 3 guys I would sign long term. So I think signing Crochet is a great move for them. He's 25. Mm-hmm. I believe he's a kid, goes 97, lefty. I like that move by the Red Sox because he was going to be a free agent at the end of the season. Just they gave up a lot to get him as well. So to me, I thought that was a perfect move for the Boston Red Sox to get Crochet as the anchor of that rotation for years to come.
I want to throw another wrench into this, Josh. Right? You're talking about extensions, and you're talking about the Red Sox, right? Christian Campbell just got extended, right, for another 6+ years, I think it is. Right. But now, what position does he play? Second base.
Yep, which they
Originally, when the talk of Bregman coming over, right? When the dust was still unsettled, where was Bregman originally possibly going to play?
second base.
Right. So now you have locked up long term Devers,
Yep.
your third baseman, and your second baseman.
I mean, Bregman signed for how many years? 4 years?
I think so.
Is there any opt outs in that?
I don't have to double check. I want to say it's after 2, possibly.
Oh, but
that's the crazy part, right? Like you started the offseason. All right, we're gonna get Bregman. He's gonna play second base for us. Devers, you got third base, and all of a sudden, spring training comes. Bregman, you go to third. Devers, you DH, and all of a sudden, Devers is like, I'm not a DH. Now they signed their second baseman long term, so that kind of
Bregman has it's a 3-year deal with an opt out after this season, next season, and then a player option the following season.
So you got basically all 3 guys. And
Which
you know what?
I'd be surprised if he doesn't take the 25, 30 mil, but that's just.
But you know, the craziest part, Josh, right? Like, think about it. Second base, shortstop, third base. What's the position that you're really like, I don't know about this?
First base?
First base, I think Costas is fine there.
But I like Costas too.
Second base, shortstop, third base.
Which one is the biggest power?
But what's the biggest question mark out of second base, shortstop, and third base for the Red Sox? It would have to be Trevor Story at shortstop there, right?
I mean, he barely even plays.
That's what I'm saying.
Now, you have to remember that was the old regime that brought him in, and nobody wanted Story because he only played well in Colorado. His road numbers were not great, but Boston figured, okay, smaller ballpark, it would fit the dimensions of what Story could do. He's always hurt. It just hasn't worked.
But that's the tricky part, is what I'm saying. Now you have locked up 2 third basemen for the next couple of years. Your second baseman locked up for even longer. But you still have Story at shortstop. Like, that's the whole tricky part, right?
Well, the question would be for the Red Sox is they got to figure out this Devers. Like, is something mentally, because everybody keeps saying, oh, they need to bring David Ortiz in to talk to him. I'm like, well, David Ortiz was at spring training.
Mm-hmm.
Did he tune Ortiz out when he was there? That's my question, because what's bringing Ortiz in now going to do when he was at spring training already?
And let's not forget who backed Devers as the third baseman too. Tristan Casas at first base, right?
Yep.
He had a lot to say about it.
I didn't remember that, honestly, but good call.
Right? So, I mean, you kind of added some more, ruffled feathers.
Listen, I think we all have to be adults in here. We all have to play nice in the sandbox. We're trying to make the team better. Okay, Alex Bregman is a 2-time World Series champion who's been good on big moment situations. You have to understand that this is a young Red Sox team that needs valuable leadership with this team. It's not something that when you look at it and you think, oh my goodness, Bregman's he's not trying to overtake anything. He was offered the contract. He signed there. The Red Sox made a decision. I don't even understand why Devers would be so butthurt by this in the first place, because I understand he's a third baseman. He's not the greatest defensive third baseman, number one. Number two, it's also keeping Devers healthier. That's the part that I'm trying to wrap my head around, is he's feeling like Bregman's taking over his spot. But Bregman's not trying to do that. Bregman is actually hitting behind him in the lineup to try to protect Devers in the lineup. That's what he's trying to do. And I think Devers needs to understand that. Now, listen, if you want to be butthurt and you want to be upset about it, then the next time they put you in the field, go throw a throw over Cassis' head and go be Gary Sheffield. Go do that. But the Red Sox are also paying you a good contract as well. Just understand that it's not meant to have hard feelings here.
No,
that's the part that I just don't think he's understanding. But listen,
at the end of the day, what's it all about? You're trying to fill the best
baseball games.
You're trying to field the best team possible.
Torpedo bats. That's what it's all about.
You know what? I think the Sox are going to be a pretty good team this year, but I think there's another team in the division that can still overtake them. I think it's going to be a terrible series against them.
Speedy, those torpedo bats.
No, I wanted to chime in on my private chat. Don't forget about the White Sox top 3 run differential.
Oh, shoot. You're right. Their rotation is best in baseball right now. Oh, my gosh. That's true. They're the number one area in baseball. They're the number one area.
Great point, Speedy.
Yep.
Now, do you think should they use more torpedo bats there, though? Because, listen, I have to laugh at the fact that everyone thought it was only the Yankees using these torpedo bats. Are the Yankees cheating? Are these torpedo bats legal? Is this correct? Did you see Ryan Jeffers? Did you see, I don't know, some guys on the Cubs? The torpedo bat is league-wide. It's not just a Yankee.
It's not illegal. There's nothing wrong with it.
And it's not just a Yankee thing. Guess what? It fits within the parameters about the bat. Is it a smart thing to do to say, hey, you know what? You barrel the ball here more often than you do here. Let's adjust the bat to that. Do they not do that in golf, right? If Josh, if you know you're going to slice your swing every time to the left, do you not?
Yeah, they always adjust the irons and everything like that. That is always a thing. Yep.
So I laugh at the fact that this whole torpedo bat thing is the biggest, like.
I think this conversation should torpedo its way out of this planet and go somewhere else. That's where I'm at. I think it's just a conversation starter because to me, I didn't know what the parameters were of it either. I had no idea because I never heard of them until the Yankees started using them. I'm like, oh, what? Then I read about it more and I said, oh, okay. I think the guy that actually created it, I think he's working for the Marlins now anyway. But I looked at it and I said, there's nothing wrong with what they're doing. I mean, the Yankees are all using it, great, but so are other players. Francisco Lindor is using one. He's been using one since last year. It's literally all league wide that it's being used. Now I know Giancarlo Stanton, when he comes back from the IL, he's going to use it. I'm thinking to myself, isn't that what hurt his elbows in the first place? But I mean, I don't know. I don't think Stanton really needs a torpedo bat. I mean, I think what Stanton needs to do is work on his quads and his everything to not get that hurt again.
He doesn't have to even take a step if he's barreling it with the torpedo bat. Come on now.
I don't think he ever does take a step. I think he literally just moves his arms and that's the end of it.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, to me, I don't know.
I think it's
kind of, the Yankees lost the last few games, so it's kind of died down the whole torpedo conversation. Of course, when the Yankees were great, everybody was flipping out.
He scored 20 runs against the Brewers.
Now they've lost the last 2 games, and now people are like, okay, whatever. Chisholm had 4 strikeouts the other day with the torpedo bat. Maybe it's not doing as much. And I'm like, I don't know if it has anything to do with the torpedo bat. I think the Diamondbacks are just a better opponent than the Brewers.
Well, Josh, let me ask you this question: with a torpedo bat, with the red wiffle ball bat, with the yellow wiffle ball bat, with any kind of bat.
Excuse me. How could you forget aluminum power by Backyard Baseball? How dare you?
You're right. With a Louisville Slugger, right? With a TPS.
Yeah.
Any of those. Do the bats hit the ball automatically?
No.
Like, are they built in to hit a ball automatically? What has to happen?
That's only when oh goodness me, George Brett did that with the and Sammy Sosa did that with the cork in their bat.
But that's what I'm saying. The players still have to swing the bat. They still have to take pitches that aren't strikes. They still have to have the hand-eye coordination to hit a ball. And you know what? Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe I'm digressing and getting down a different rabbit hole that we're talking about, Josh. But to me, it's the same thing with the steroid era, right?
I enjoyed the steroid era. That was when baseball was
fun. You still need the hand-eye coordination. You still need to swing the bat. You still need to make contact and do everything correctly to hit a ball 400-plus feet, 390 feet. That's what these guys are still doing. That's why they're the professionals. I don't care if it's a torpedo bat or a regular bat. The juice era, that's a different story because guess what? It was an era in baseball
That was a fun
altogether.
era in baseball.
So you know what? Get out of here with the whole it's the torpedo bat. They're cheating this way. They're cheating that way. Give me a break.
Nah, to me, I think it's just a
Because it's new. Is that why it's a new phenomenon?
That's because the Yankees had they were playing out of their minds against Milwaukee, and then I think once the Yankees lost Arizona 2 straight, and then once the Brewers gave up 11 runs to the Royals, people were like, "All right, it could have just been the players and not the bats. Like, let's calm down with this whole this is changing the game here because not everybody in baseball is even still using the torpedo bat. That's the thing. Like, if it was great and powerful, everybody would be using it. The reality is, it's not happening. Not everybody's using it, and not everybody wants to use it.
Aaron Judge is not even using. Aaron Judge says, "You've seen my track record with my bat."
Yeah, really.
Right? You know what I mean? It's not for everyone. It's going to be for certain players with the certain analytics that say, "Hey, yeah, this makes more sense for you to use this kind of bat." But guess what? You still have to be comfortable with the bat. And again,
if Chris was throwing you a pitch, would you use a torpedo bat?
You know what? He's got a few in the backyard. He's got the big fat red one. He's got the one. I mean, if I'm down in the game late, yeah, I'm going to use the bat. But that's what I'm saying. You still have to hit the ball. You still have to see the ball. And the Yankees weren't the only team using it. That's the part that I just like. I can't fathom. Oh, it's the Yankees cheating. It's the articles. It's all the Yankees. It's all the Yankees.
Yeah,
no. It's not. No. Do the research first. Yeah. Come on.
Yeah, well, it's been an interesting first week of baseball. We'll touch on it next week, of course, when more happens and everything like that.
You know what, though, Josh? I have a question. Yeah. I know. I'm sorry. But the Yankees aren't the only New York team playing right now. What's your take on the next team?
Show.
I'm just asking.
Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
I agree, but you have a little bit of a fandom, to say the very least, to the Mets. What's your quick synopsis on them?
I mean, they're 3-3. They won 2 out of 3 against the Marlins. They definitely should have beaten Houston in those games. Their lineup has struggled a bit. It's early in the season. Their pitching has been unbelievable so far. Which again, and I said one of their strengths when we did our baseball preview was going to be their bullpen this year. If they found something in Brazaban and Kranick to add to that bullpen, I mean, Kranick the other night throwing 3 scoreless innings was ginormous for that bullpen. To go with Stanek and Minter and Garrett and Diaz, that would their bullpen's going to be a strength for them this year. Their lineup will be fine. This is what Lindor does. He does this every season. You have to remember that Alonso is the guy that his eye has been incredible. He's not striking out that much. He looks confident at the plate. I'm not concerned about anybody yet. It's very early. I want to see Vientos get out of this. 3-3 right now. They're going home. They had, they're 3-3, but not their big guys all hitting yet. That's the positive. That's the positive. When you get guys, when Soto and Lindor and Vientos get out of this early season, whatever it is, and Soto actually hasn't even been that bad in a slump. I don't even know why I'm putting him in that category.
Because he's not hitting a home run every at bat.
That's what I'm saying. He's getting hits. He's not hitting a home run every at bat, which is fine. And Nimmo and these guys, when they start to click and they hit, I said the Minaya news was disappointing. But they're getting by, you know what I mean? Their first time through the rotation was really good. It was really, really good. I mean, I know that they played the Marlins the second time, but Canning was good his first start against Houston. That's not an easy lineup. McGill was really good against the Astros. Not an easy lineup. Senga was dominant against the Marlins. I know they're the Marlins. The home runs, Lindor made a mistake. But I said the biggest thing is the bullpen. because that bullpen could really shorten the game for the starters to go 5 innings. If Kranick and Brazoban can continue to do what they're doing, but like I said, with Stanek, Diaz, Garrett, and Minter, I mean, you got a 7-man, 6-man bullpen, and Budo as well. You have a 7-man bullpen. You could shorten the game dramatically for these guys. They only have to go 5 innings, and then you're gonna have 3 new guys pitch every day. So we'll see what happens. But they're 3-3 right now. Not everybody's playing well, and they're coming off a nice win, sloppy but a nice win, and they're gonna play their home opener. If it happens tomorrow, it's gonna be a crappy weekend, because it's gonna pour Saturday,
Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's just
yeah. Tomorrow it's gonna be okay. Yeah, tomorrow it's gonna be 65, cloudy, sunny. So they'll be able to get through the home opener tomorrow. It's Saturday and Sunday's gonna stink. That's gonna be the washouts. And then I love to go to a game during my spring break with Caleb, but we'll see what the weather is. Especially, it's tough to go to a game at night. In April, I can't start doing night games till like June. I think when I took Caleb to his first Met game a couple years ago, and I think the scarring of what happened on Father's Day, where Father's Day is in June, and it was literally like 51 degrees that day, was egregious.
Right.
It was so egregious. And I said, it's middle of June. What are we doing? Why is it 51 degrees? But yeah, I mean,
you know what? And Josh, you're absolutely right. I'm not trying to make this a all New York.
No, I know you want to get my temperature on the team.
At the same time, listen, the Mets are supposed to be one of those teams that are doing very well, supposed to make a deep run in the playoffs, right? Obviously, the Padres, they're looking good right now. And the Dodgers, did you hear the trade the Dodgers made? Very under the radar move now that I think will pay off dividends come playoff time.
Well, they're already 7-0. What trade did they do now?
So, and the Athletics team had
yes, I did see this trade.
Esteury Ruiz, right? I would say, all right, so they traded for a guy who was DFA'd, whatever. Josh, what is the strength of Ruiz? And now you add that to a Dodgers team. It's the speed.
Add him with Edman.
Can you imagine him coming in pinch running late in games? You're down by 1. He steals a base, running scoring position. Whoever hits him in then.
Oscar Hernandez gets a hit. You can bring him in. Yep, easy peasy.
Crazy. And you know what?
They're literally, to me, listen, we knew this is how it was going to be, correct? Right? Dominance early. I think it's going to continue to go on through the season and everything like that. So to me, I don't know, but I think the Dodgers do so many under the radar moves and everything like that. This is what they do.
That's one that I think is going to help them tremendously.
Do you know what was done under the radar move?
What was that, Josh?
The Final Four.
Wow.
This was one of the least memorable tournaments ever. 4 number ones. Boring.
That just means the committee got it right.
And that also means that those teams are literally buying their champ. They're literally the Final Fours, and these other teams can't compete with them anymore.
It has nothing to do with it.
No. I hope John Shire wins a championship in my eyes.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that.
Whoa. Time out. You hope who?
Oh, no. There's only one reason why.
Who? Hold on.
There's only one reason why.
What team does he coach? What team does he coach?
He actually gave him some credit, though.
Speedy, did you hear that? Did you hear what team he just said?
I really don't want Duke to win. I'm just saying it would be.
Oh, okay. I want the coach to win. Well, he coaches what team?
It would be hysterical if John Shire won a championship, because then we'll never hear the end of it. Because it would go on his Wikipedia page. John Shire, coach, national champion. And you know what you have to do, Speedy? You gotta do like a prank. You gotta print that page out and plaster it all over the studio. So, and then you shove it in Errol's face. Here it is. One-time national champion coach John Shire.
Didn't he win as a player too, Josh? Refresh my memory.
Oh, it makes it even
And
better.
what team did he play for?
Duke. He wins as a player and a coach. Love it. Let's go. Double duty.
So you all right? So good.
Coach
Speedy.
K didn't do that.
Speedy, lock it in. Josh is rooting for Duke.
I am not
lock
rooting
it in. That's what I heard.
I am not rooting for Duke.
Speedy, you heard the same thing I did, right?
I am not rooting for Duke. I'm definitely not rooting for Duke. Not happening.
I want
to me when I
Duke.
So what is it? You got Auburn, Florida, Houston, Duke, which would be fascinating. I'm very curious with this Duke-Houston matchup because of how really good Houston is defensively, one of the best in the country, and Duke has a top 5 offense in this country as well, with Cooper Flagg and everything like that, and everything of that nature. So and everything like that, and everything like that. To me, the way that I view Cooper Flagg and everything that he is, I want to see the progression against this Houston defense because this is going to be the toughest defensive team that Duke is going against in this tournament. Now, Auburn, Florida are in the same conference, right? That's going to be it. Both coaches know each other. Both teams know each other. I'm actually shocked Auburn's even here because they came in slumping mightily, and this is what Bruce Pearl teams always do. Bruce Pearl teams never reach the pinnacle. They never have. Going from Illinois days to Tennessee days, wearing the orange jackets, which always used to blind the snot out of me, to now into this mode of being the head coach at Auburn. They've never reached the pinnacle. Speedy, you're dying to say something about it because I know I'm saying about with Pearl, he doesn't ever reach what he needs to reach in regards to being that they say top 10 coach in this in college basketball or top 5. I don't see it. To me, my opinion, I think Florida is. I want to word this correctly. All around, I think the most depth. I think is the Florida team. The best starting 5 is Duke. The most depth, I think, is Florida. Would you? Is that a fair statement, Speedy? I think the most depth is Florida. Best starting 5 is Duke. Best defensive all around grit, hard-nosed team. And don't forget, they're the oldest team in this tournament is Houston. So I don't know. You're a Duke fan, Eric.
Yes.
I mean, I can't stand them, but what are your thoughts?
Well, you know what? First, I have to say, tough run for Wisconsin.
Where did they run? They got to the front. You know what the funny thing is? It didn't even matter because every 1 seed got to the Final Four, so they weren't getting there anyway. So why does it matter? All they did was save money. All they did was save me money on a ticket to have to go to Newark and watch them play Duke.
Oh, so Duke did make the Final Four, obviously. Cooper Flagg, I think, is. I don't even want to say probably. I want to say definitely is the best player in the
best player.
The
Not definitely. There's no even question. He is the best player in college basketball. It's not even close.
I think Duke has, like you said, the best starting 5. You know, whereas Houston has probably the most. Florida has the most depth. But you know what? I think it starts with Cooper Flagg, right? When you're that good, what happens? You make the guys around you that much better. You see the court better, right? You see things before they kind of happen. And Cooper Flagg seems to be that kind of guy right now, right? It's different than, say, you know, when Zach Edey was leading the charge.
Well,
there.
I mean, Errol said he's Kevin Durant. I said I think he's Luka. I mean, regardless of whoever he is.
I lean more to the Luka comparison only because the point guard position in him, right? Where Durant goes, I'm going to pass me the ball, I'm going to hit my shot. I'm going to be anywhere in the court, I'm going to hit my shot. Where Luka is kind of creating plays, right? Cooper Flagg is creating plays. He's getting open. He's getting a double to have someone else open, right? And Shire, kudos to him as much as, you know, everyone wants to rag on him.
Yeah, that's right. Kudos to John Shire. Stand up.
Putting the pieces together and running the plays that are actually working, though.
I love that man.
How many times do you see a coach have a great team, but can't put it together in terms of the plays, the structure?
Right. How many times did he do it? Yeah, how many times? Right.
John Shire's doing it right now.
Right. That's right. John Shire's doing it right now, Eric. That's right. He's doing it. He's going to win the national championship. It's going to be on his and it's going to be on his resume that he won one as a player and as a coach.
I want to see Duke, Wisconsin 1 year in a finals match.
We had one year. Wisconsin should have won it. Then Grayson Allen decided to be
we need a rematch.
James Harden for 30 seconds when he was skinny.
That was such a great matchup.
Yeah, Jahlil Okafor had his worst game of his college career, and he still got picked in the top 5. Everybody saw that being a terrible draft pick. It was horrible.
Frank Kaminsky, probably one of the most underrated Wisconsin players ever.
I don't think he was as I mean, Kaminsky started really coming into his own the last 2 years. I think the guy that nobody talked enough about with the team, because we always look at the big two were Kaminsky and Decker, right? Those were the big two, and everything like that. I mean, I think oh God, who was the point guard on that team? I can't remember.
He's the one that made the buzzer beater on.
Yes,
I'm drawing a blank.
I'm drawing a blank. It wasn't Trayvon Hughes. No. Who was it? Was it? When was that Final Four? Let me see. Duke.
Kind of.
Wisconsin.
Final Four.
Speedy, I'm going to beat you to it. Speedy, I'm going to beat you to it. Beat you to it, Speedy.
Nigel Hayes.
Yeah. No. Nigel Hayes was the center.
Oh, no, he's the center?
Koenig.
Bronson Koenig, is that?
No, he was the shooting guard.
And the other guard is Showalter.
No, Zach Showalter was the backup. Nope, keep trying. Keep trying, Speedy. I'm going to find it. Where is it? It's driving me nuts. See, it's crazy because they give me all these. Trayvon Jackson. That was it. Trayvon Jackson. Of course, Jackson had his worst game of his year that year. Man, oh man, Jahlil Okafor was awful in that game.
What did Grayson Allen do?
Grayson Allen was 5 for 8 in that game for 3 points in 20 minutes and 3-pointers. But yeah. I think Duke is gonna beat Houston against Florida, and then I think Duke is going to win the national championship, and that's where I think it's going to happen against Florida.
All right. So you're saying that the team with the best starting 5 is going to beat the team with the best depth?
Yes.
Okay.
I think Florida has the most depth. I think Duke gets the best starting 5. I'm very curious though. This is the toughest team that Duke's going to be playing all season because of their defensive prowess, the height, and the age and the veterans that Houston has on this team.
Only team could beat.
So to me, I think that's going to be the one that can do it. Plus, I think Sampson can outcoach you. But we also have seen Calvin Sampson in big games struggle and everything like that. Speedy, we actually have a clip for oh, no, wait. You have to say yours. I'm sure. Well, we know what you're going to say. We know who you're picking.
He was wrong about both of the teams that were supposed to go to the national championship. Alabama and Texas Tech, they're all out.
No, you're talking Eric, not me.
Oh, no, not Speedy. Oh, no. God, no. Speedy thought Gonzaga was going to the freaking Final Four. What the heck was that?
That's a loss.
Yeah, I mean.
You thought St. John was going to be in the finals too, though, Josh. Did you not think St. John's was going to be in the Final Four?
Yeah, I did, but I also had my doubts too because I didn't know how I had St. John's winning it, and I honestly still had my doubts about it. I wasn't convinced fully because I didn't know how the officiating was going to be. Because the Big East refs are used to the way St. John's plays the whole season, which is aggressive defense, and the problem was they couldn't. They were the worst 3-point shooting team in the Big East tournament. They were the worst free throw shooting team in the Big East. So that game, and then they were in massive foul trouble in the game against Arkansas, which they shouldn't be in Arkansas. I mean, it was embarrassing. They lost to Arkansas. But, I'm going to say you have Duke playing Auburn and Duke winning.
Yes, and you know what's going to be on Showcase? Cooper Flag, Johnny Broom. It's going to be a phenomenal finals.
Why is it? What is this? What is this?
What?
Can I just add one thing here?
When your mic gets turned on, it can.
I just want to say one thing. Everybody keeps talking about Cooper Flag, how special he is, how great he is.
Don't you have a show in like 15 minutes?
I just want to let everybody know that I have been saying this for the last 7 years.
You want to toot your own
that
horn. That's what he came
I
on
was
the
telling
show
you
for.
that this kid is going to be a great one. And
so
by the
he
way,
has a show in 45 minutes. He can toot his horn on there. But he says, I got to come on this show.
I'm not going to talk about it. I'm not going to have to
too.
talk about it because I already spoke my piece with what I think Duke is going to do in this tournament. And the only team that could beat Duke in this tournament is Houston. That's the only team. I said that before the tournament started. Duke's going to run right through their bracket because it all falls in the right position for them. Every single team. It didn't matter who they matched up against.
It fell for all the teams because all 4 number ones wound up going on to the Final Four. They all fell in bracket.
They all fell.
They all fell.
And they all got
one
beaten
didn't
down.
fall more than the other.
And they all got beaten down. So I just want to let everybody know that I was the one 7-8 years ago, and Speedy can vouch on this. And I said that this kid not only is special, he's going to be the number 1 pick. When I had GMs, assistant GMs from the NBA come on the show and tell me that he is 2nd or 3rd pick in the year that he goes into the draft. And I said, nope, he's the number 1 pick, and you will see. And what is he? He's National Player of the Year. He's going to be a national champion, and he's going to be in the NBA, and he's going to win Rookie of the Year, and he's going to be the face of Team USA basketball. I'm done. Seal it. Zipper it. Beetlejuice.
I hope he turns into Christian Laettner. That made me want him to turn into Christian Laettner even more than what you just said. Yeah, that made me want to root against him. That made me want to root against him even more.
But you know what, Josh? That's where I think you're going to be wrong with the Florida Auburn. I think Johnny Broom has a great game and moves Auburn along past Florida.
I just want to. The only thing I want is if Duke wins a national championship, I just want Speedy to plaster all over the studio the Wikipedia page of John Shire as a coach, national champion. That's all I want, and I want to put it right in that front of that computer screen for everyone to see it for the whole show, and that's it. Speedy, we actually have a clip that we do want to play. It's in regards to the NBA. You have it ready for us? It was from Shams on the Pat McAfee show today.
What?
Like at the trade deadline when he was almost traded to the Warriors, the Suns, Kevin Durant, they would work together on any trade. But I can tell you guys this. Back at the NBA trade deadline, there were a list of teams that there was mutual interest with Kevin Durant and those teams from my understanding. And that's Minnesota, that's New York, that's Houston, San Antonio, Miami. Okay. Those are the types of teams, from my understanding, that had interest then. And I expect them all to be in the mix this offseason.
Now,
there you go. All right, so it's a lot of listed teams for Kevin Durant's services. That includes the Spurs, that includes the Warriors, that includes the Knicks, that includes the Rockets, that includes the Timberwolves. All of these teams, once again, having the mutual interest in regards to what Kevin Durant's services are, which is he can't really stay fully healthy, but the man can still shoot the lights out of the basketball. We know that. So to me, when I look at this whole rumor, and it's coming from Shams, so Sharon, who's the number 1 NBA reporter out there, so you take it. So when I view what Shams is reporting and everything that he's doing in regards to saying that the Knicks have interest in Kevin Durant, I'm wondering, okay, 1, it's real. Number 2, it doesn't surprise me in the least bit. Number 3, what would it take to get Kevin Durant from the Suns to the Knicks? And would we even want him?
Nothing next year. He's a free agent.
I think it depends on the package going back.
No, he's not a free agent yet. No, he's not.
He can opt out of his contract next year.
Josh, I'll throw some names out at you.
A lot of money. I think $40 million.
Josh,
he ain't up to now.
If it involves Mikal Bridges return.
Opt out of the contract. I guarantee you he will.
You
Guarantee.
think Bridges in?
Dad. Kevin Durant is opting out of that contract. Steal it because he wants to win another championship.
Why don't you have a show at 7:30? Shouldn't you be prepping?
I'm already prepped.
He is. This is prep work.
This is
I don't need to prep. All I need to do is play with myself.
Good for you. God almighty. It's a family show.
He meant basketball. 1-on-1.
If it works for you.
Is it good for you? Good for me or good for you?
It's good for both of us.
So, in regards to what would it take for the Knicks? So you think he's going to opt out? I don't think he's going to opt out. If he does not opt out, it's a trade. What would the Knicks need to trade?
Josh.
Would you shut up?
Yes or no? I'm going to say a name. You say, would you include them?
Would you rather?
No, in a trade package. Durant?
Have I ever?
Or Bridges?
Huh? What was that?
Would you for Durant? Would you put in a package that has Bridges?
Okay.
No.
Okay.
No.
Josh
I
Hart.
mean, I'm ready. I'm getting fed up with Bridges. I am, but I'm not there yet.
So you said no to Bridges. Josh Hart?
Soft. No.
Okay.
Josh Hart's the heart of that team. No.
OG Onuabi? OG?
OG's fascinating. Because the thing of it is, I can't figure out what he is. Because for the life of me, the last year and a half, I thought he was going to be exactly like Kawhi Leonard, where he is a great 3-point shooter. He can't dribble the basketball for his life. He can't handle the ball. But he also plays really good defense. My thought process is, okay, you're going to bring Kevin Durant in, who's 35 years old, 36 years old. He's injury prone. You already have Karl Anthony Towns, who's injury prone. You have Jalen Brunson, who's somewhat injury prone. So now you have 3 guys on this team who are all superstar players that are injury prone guys. And you have Tibbs, who would literally break Kevin Durant within the first 2 weeks of the season.
And you have no bench depth. You have no bench.
I don't know. I got to tell you something. In all seriousness, I'm going to say this, and nobody's talking about this. Delonte Wright, coming to this team, he's been awesome. He really has been. As a veteran on this team, as the point guard, he's averaging 12, 13 a game, 7 or 8 assists a game. He should be in the rotation when everybody comes back. He should be. Campaign still be there. Deuce McBride will still be there. I love Deuce. Love Deuce. Whether it's, Deuce McBride, dropping a deuce, whatever you want to go with.
Deuce driver.
Juicy, juicy, whatever it is.
Miles.
In regards to Eric's like, what's happening right now? Eric, go on.
Josh, all I need to say is
Eric's throwing you off.
I didn't do anything. I'm not even on it.
all I need to say, Josh,
What my phone
is if you think that's bad, you know what else is something that's really grinding my gears?
Oh, what's grinding your gears?
We're gonna get into it because you know what time it's for?
It is time for
You're better than that. And I've had one since the first game of the Arizona Yankee game. I would say it was probably about the 8th inning, bases loaded, Eugenio Suarez up, Mark Leiter pitching.
Mm-hmm.
And what is Suarez sitting the entire at-bat? Off speed.
Mm-hmm.
He's sitting off speed. He's sitting off speed. He's sitting off speed. I knew it. The dog knew it. The wife knew it. Chris knew it. Everybody knew it. So guess what? Let's throw him an off-speed pitch because the fastball he just showed you he can't catch up to because he's sitting off speed. You throw him off speed, and what does he do? Sends it for a grand slam. You lose the game. What are we doing? Everyone knew it was coming. It's an off-speed pitch. He's sitting it. He's sitting off speed. Blow the heater by him. Move on. Get the win. No. It's one of the stupid losses that at the end of the year, you're going to say, there's 5, 17, 10, whatever. There's too many losses like this. This is part of the issue. Come on. You're better than that.
Mine's a simple one. Mine is in regards to the NFL and Roger Goodell specifically trying to ban the tush push. I think it's ridiculous and it's silly because teams can't stop it, so they want to ban it because they find it to be a safety hazard because guys are sticking their heads into the piles and everything of that nature. And it looks like a rugby moment. It does. But teams can't stop it. And they've tried to run it and they flop at it. So what is Roger Goodell going to say as an excuse? It's a safety hazard. We got to get rid of it. That's not why. It's because I know owners are coming to you and saying they want to ban it because players, because teams are annoyed that they can't stop this and they find it's an unfair play. It's not an unfair play. You could completely do it. You just suck at it. That's the reality of the whole situation. And to me, I think it's a very soft way for Goodell to look to have to take something legal away when it should have no bearing on anybody. Okay, the Eagles run it fair. They run it correctly. Sorry, they actually know what they're doing. They just won the Super Bowl. So take note of that. So NFL, Roger Goodell, I would say you're better than that, but you never are, so why does it matter? Check us out every Thursday, 6 to 7 p.m., right here on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network, and all of our other great shows, such as Jabba in the Mouth, which are going to be following us at 7:30. You can hear Errol Marks Never Shut Up, along with the crew. It's great. It'll be wonderful. And, of course, don't forget the Weekend Crunch on 103.9 FM every Saturday at 7 p.m. with Errol and Speedy, where you'll never hear Errol shut up again. It's even better. It's great. Just can't get enough. Comes on other people's shows. Doesn't shut up there either, but that's all right.
Josh, tell me, what's that like?
I don't know, because usually when I say something, the points actually make factual sense. Yeah.
Never mind.
I don't know. Carl hasn't been on for a long time. I don't think there's been a fake rumor. And everything like that. Well, that's what it is. And you know what? Playing it safe.
Carl came on like 3 weeks ago on our show to complain about Justin Fields. That was about it.
He's upset because the Chicago Bears didn't know how to handle Justin Fields and run an offense correctly. That's why. I mean, they still have, Matt Eberflus running that team? Hello.
Well, they gave the Jets a gift.
Yeah, well.
Josh, where can everyone listen to us? And the network and all these shows.
The networks, you can go on worldwidesportsradio.com. You could go on YouTube, Instagram. Jabba in the Mouth have TikTok, of course, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all great social media platforms.
Your mom.
Sure. We'll go with that. I thought it was Speedy's mom.
No, she's got beautiful legs. And biggie caboozas.
There you go. That's how we're ending the show.
Whoppers of yappers.
And that's how we're ending the show.
Whoppers.
Jabba and the Mouth are coming up next at 7:30. So Eric, any last words you want to say before we end?
You know what? This was fun. How about next week? Same time, same place?
Oh,
don't forget, give us a like, give us a follow, leave some comments.
The thing is, really quick, you know what's funny? He'll come on our show. I came down one time to do his show at Miller's, and I was going to come on. You know what he do? You know what he told me? Go sit over there at the bar. I'll give you a mic. That's what he told me. So you know what? Go kick rocks.
You know what?
Whopper, Speedy! Willie Whopper!
Speedy, we're out. We'll talk to you next week for Eric Bowe, for Speedy Petey, for Doofus to my right, Errol Marks. I'm Josh Silver. Have a good night. This has been Game On the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
You're listening to the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.